Alright guys, so I'm going to be talking about another project that me and Jason Voorhees 2011 are kind of working on. Yeah, I know, we come out with a lot of them. And this is actually totally by accident, which is going to be loosely, and I do put this term loosely, based off of the Marvel event Contest of Champions, which the story is based off of, kind of? Yeah, so it was kind of funny because I was talking to Jason. I was messaging him and saying, "Hey, I got this idea for a story, and I may not do it because of reasons." And then the next day he calls me and he says, "Hey man, I really want to do that story. Is that cool by you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine by me." So this is loosely based off of the Marvel event Contest of Champions, but it's a little different in that the story is in this story is that the Grandmaster has basically left the Marvel universe and he wants to do a new Contest of Champions throughout the multiverse. However, Bill, of course, from Gravity Falls, Bill from Gravity Falls stops him and is basically like, "Look, that ain't happening because I got shit to do. You're gonna fuck it up if you get in my way." And I could, let slip that you're kind of breaking some laws here, multi-dimensional laws here. So they come to an impasse. Basically, there is a game, and Bill and Grandmaster basically it's a series of one-shots really that have them pick out different fighters or multiple fighters from different universes, and they send them to go fight in these like one and done matchups. So it's kind of like them playing Death Battle. It's kind of like Bill and the Grandmaster are basically playing Death Battle, and they're Whiz and Boomstick. That was a piss poor comparison. I'm sorry. Anyway, so a couple things, and they will be reestablished in the story when it's out, which should be soon because I'm writing the prologue as of this recording, and Jason is doing the prologue as we speak. So, yeah, what was I going to say? A couple things. First off, is that this story is going to be, it's going to be a series of fights, but it's not going to really involve any anime characters or comic book characters. So anime and comic book characters are out. It's mostly cartoons, video games, and TV shows that are all going to be throwing down. And it's actually pretty funny because in the span of 2 days, we've thought up to nearly 30 to 40 fights. Yeah, we've nearly thought of nearly 30 to 40 fights in just a matter of under a day even. And yeah, we're not Jason's going to go deeper into it with his story, but he's not going to do requests. He is not going to take requests on this fight. These are all his. And there are going to be definitive winners and losers in these matchups, so just giving you a heads up. I don't want to spoil all of the fights. I really don't, but there are some really good ones that we thought of, and some of them are just on the fly. And Jason and I, when we were throwing around ideas for fights, we were just like, "Oh, that's a good one." We were literally like, "Oh, that's a good one." But anyway, I digress. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, basically, these are just fights that Jason and I came up with. Yeah, and we're just gonna do those, and we're probably gonna think of more fights along the line, or later on down the line. But I think we're pretty good as it is, and we're kind of debating on who would win which fight. But yeah, there are. I don't want to spoil. Like I said, this isn't a taking requests kind of story. So, just letting you know right now, this is not, a request-taking story. These are just fights that we thought of, and we're gonna do. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I don't want, like I said, I don't want to spoil any major fights, but I do want to. I want to tell you guys the first one right out the gate. I really want to tell you the first one right out the gate, and that is Azula, from, of course, Avatar Last Airbender, versus Kylo Ren from Star Wars The Force Awakens. That's right, Kylo versus Azula. And you may be thinking, this is kind of one-sided. Not when you think about it, because Kylo, while he is powerful, he doesn't have the same kind of skill and focus that Azula has. You have to understand that in canon, Kylo started his training with Snoke at the age of 16. And whereas Azula has been doing her firebending training since she was like a toddler. I think in canon they said she was like 2 or 3 when she started her firebending training. And she's a prodigy. The other thing is that she's also incredibly intelligent, whereas Kylo kind of depends more on power and his power and his overbearing power on the dark side. But not to count Kylo out. I mean, Kylo's a friggin' powerhouse, but Azula, on the other hand, is a match for him mental-wise. And plus, Kylo's never really fought, as far as we know. There could be a novel coming out soon, something like that, because Azula is incredibly fast. She is very agile, and even if he manages to stop her, she can still firebend. She can still, like, depending on where Kylo holds her, she can still, like, blast fire out of her mouth or hands or something to that degree. But at the same time, you know, Azula... I'm getting into a... Sorry, I'm rambling at this point, because now I'm really thinking into it. But yes, that is the first fight in this story, is a battle between Azula and Kylo Ren. So, that's going to be really epic. So, you guys tell me. Well, actually, anyway, why did I even say that? Sorry, for a brief second, for a hot minute, I made this into a who would win segment. Sorry. But yeah, so this story will be coming out soon. I don't know an exact date, but it is soon. So hope you all are looking forward to it. This is going to be a lot of fun, and this totally came off the fly, really. So, thought that was hysterical. But once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.